Welcome to New Small Group Leader Training. This is our first video in our Small Group Leader resources, and so we encourage everybody to watch this one first and then watch the rest of them in any order you want to. We think all of them are important. Even if some of them maybe don't apply to you, we encourage you to watch them anyway because I think they'll be helpful in understanding small group ministry. But also maybe some issues that might come up in the future, and you'll already be prepared or know where you can find that information when you need it. Also remind you that there's a handout that goes along with this video, so I encourage you to print that out. You'll see it listed there with it, and it'll help you in taking some notes and remembering the information that we talked about today. But first of all, let me just begin by saying thank you for being a small group ministry leader. The church appreciates your leadership in this vital role in our church, and we're going to talk about how important that is here in just a few minutes. But again, just thank you for being a part of that. Let's begin, though, by talking about our church mission statement. Our church mission statement is Woodburn Baptist Church is a family of Christians that loves and welcomes everyone, shares the gospel of Jesus Christ, and serves God through worship, teaching, and everyday acts of service. In this mission statement for our church, we see the 5 purposes of the church are listed here. Look at them with me. When we say that we love and welcome everyone, that's the purpose of fellowship. When we say that we share the gospel of Jesus Christ, that's the purpose of evangelism. When we say we serve God through worship, that's obviously the purpose of worship. We say we serve God through teaching, that is discipleship. And we say when we serve God through everyday acts of service, that is ministry. If that's the ministry of the church to achieve those 5 purposes, then the purpose of our small group ministry is to achieve those 5 purposes in the life of each group and also the life of each individual group member. If you're like me, I never thought much about our small group ministry accomplishing the purposes of the church. But that's really vitally important to what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. Because as we have healthy small groups, we have healthy small group members, and we have people growing in discipleship and their faith in Christ. Our small group ministry, though, has a mission statement as well. And look at that with me. Our small group ministry exists to see every person in our church connected to a healthy small group for fellowship, ministry, worship, learning to share their faith, and growing as disciples. Did you notice that we want to see every member involved in a healthy small group? That's a big goal, but one that we can accomplish one group at a time, and that's where you come in. It's also important that all the 5 purposes are achieved because it's important work for our church, your group, and each individual member. Brother Tim has told us that God's vision is what is possible when His unlimited power meets our total obedience. And so that's total obedience for each of us discovering our purpose and our will and how we fit into accomplishing the vision that God has for us as a church. The second thing you might have noticed is we say we want everybody involved in a healthy small group, which begs the question, what is a healthy small group? Well, a healthy small group is one that balances the 5 purposes of the church. And so as we do that, we are continuing to grow as disciples. Just give you an example. Let's say a group meets and all they ever do is fellowship. Well, they might have a lot of fun experiences and get to know each other, but they're not really growing as disciples because there's just fellowship. There's no ministry. There's no training in evangelism. There's no growing as a disciple. And so, and the other purposes of the church, you get my point. So healthy small groups are balanced small groups and balance all the 5 purposes of the church. So that's what we're trying to talk about there. As you see, small groups are important, and your role in helping to accomplish that is vital, and we appreciate you beginning this journey with us. That's where we're headed, trying to build healthy small groups, help us as a church accomplishes the 5 purposes of the church in every single member. And that's the purpose of this first video, is that we're all on the same page, all understanding where we're headed as a ministry and headed with you as a small group leader. All the resources in the Small Group Leaders Starter Kit are here to help you get off to a great start and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. You'll see my contact information at the bottom of the handout, and be glad to talk to you about all the resources there or any questions that you may have that we failed to cover. Thanks again for watching this first video. I encourage you to watch the rest of them and look at all the resources in the new Small Group Leader Starter Kit.